You need help with math? I'm really good at math. I really don't know
Shape
you.
of an arc is modeled by y equals negative 0.0625x squared plus 1.25x plus 5.75, where x and y are measured in feet. From what points are the parabola greater than 10.5 feet?
This is a different type of okay, so imaginary numbers. An imaginary number is represented by the letter I, and imaginary number equals the square root of -1. So we're just going to go over a simple subtraction problem. 4 plus 8i minus 8 minus 2i. So what we're going to do is we're just going to distribute this negative or the subtraction sign to all the numbers out here. So what you end up with is 4 plus 8i minus 8 plus 2i, and then that simplifies out to -4 plus 10i. And your answer should always be in complex form, -4 plus 10i, which is a plus bi. The way to solve these quadratics is by completing the square. So first you want to put your quadratic value. We're going to be solving for 4 different ways. The first way we're going to solve it is with the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So your first step you need to do is figure out your values. So a is 1, b is 12, and c is 8. So what you do is plug in those values into your formula, and you get x equals -12 plus or minus the square root of 12 squared minus 4 times 1 times 8 all over 2 times 1. If you simplify everything, you get x equals -12 plus or minus 144 minus 32 over 2. If you simplify again, you get x equals -12 plus or minus the square root of 112 over 2. So the whole plus or minus thing, you have to find the answer for if you add the square root of 112 or you subtract the square root of 112 with all the values given. So for plus we got -0.7, and then for minus we got -11.29. And instead of writing your answer in parentheses, we write them in brackets because parentheses is for finding a vertex. Okay, so next we're going to do multiplication. 8 plus 4i times 4 minus 5i. So if you do the multiplication, you get 32 minus 40i plus 16i minus 20i squared. If you simplify your like terms, you get 32 minus 24i minus 20i squared. Your I squared is equal to -1, and so that turns into 32 minus 24i minus 20 times -1. Since the 20 is negative as well as the 1, your answer turns out to be positive. So it's going to be 52 plus 24i.
I don't know, Doc. Lately it's just been hard to get him to accept that I'm his father.
You are my daddy, white boy?
This is what I'm talking
A
about.
different type of question. So you start off with 5x squared minus 16 equals 51. So what you want to do is get the x squared by itself. So you're going to add 16 to both sides, which turns into 5x squared equals -35. To get x by itself again, you need to divide 5 to both sides, and you end up with x squared equals -7. To get rid of the squares, you have to find the square root of both, which eliminates the squared sign on your x. So we're going to turn here, and then you get x equals plus or minus square root of 7. And then since since it's 7, you can multiply the negative for I. So it would be x equals plus or minus square root of 7 times square root of -1. And since I equals square root of -1, your answer will be x plus or minus square root of 7i.
So now I have y equals -0.0625x squared plus 1.25x plus 5.75. So I wrote the same equation again, and I have the y is greater than 10.5. And now I have -0.065x squared plus 1.25x plus 5.75. greater than 10.5. And so you subtract the 10.5 from the 5.75 and the 10.5. So now you have negative 0.0625x squared plus 1.25x minus 4.75 is greater than 0. Now I'm going to put this in a calculator in a few seconds, and I'm going to show you how I got my points. Hi. Unfortunately, my calculator is having some issues, so I'm going to show you how I did everything by hand. So I found my vertex this way. Let me explain it. Okay, so I have negative 16t squared plus 96t plus 4, and I guess the vertex formula is negative b over 2a and f of negative b over 2a. So I have negative 96 over 2 times negative 16. And so you cross out the 96 and you get 48. You cross out the 16 and the 2 because they cancel out and you get 4. But then you cross out the 48 again and you get 12. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So your x is 3. And so now I have y equals negative 16, 9, because over here it had t squared. So 3 squared is 9. So you have 16 times 9 plus 96 times 3 plus 4. And so you have negative 144 plus 288 plus 4. And then you have negative 144 plus 292, and that equals 148. So your vertex is now 3, 148.
So here's a picture of me. I haven't showed my face this whole time because I have Ebola. So yeah.
I have this game now.
You hide this game?
I do.
You hide this game?
They're ancient, they're extinct.
A dinosaur?
Yeah.